Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Friday. This is the day that the Lord has made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it. A brand new day with brand new blessings, with brand new hopes, hope renewed. Today is Friday. Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And I know when I was out there in the working world, when Friday came, I didn't care if I had to go to work the next day. It's just something about Friday. It is just something about Friday. Today is Friday the 23rd. We got one more week in this month, and this month will be over. But in the meantime and in between time, we gonna deal with the day. We gonna deal with today. We gonna deal with all the issues and all the situations and all the do I dare say problems, everything that comes along with the day. We are going to deal with it today. Today 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 this is the day that the Lord has made, so there should be some hope, there should be some happiness, there should be some peace, some understanding, and some compassion. Today is the day that thing that you have been praying for, that thing that you have been in waiting for. You've been waiting and praying and crying and fasting. You've been doing all of that for. Today could be the day that you receive the answer. Today could be the day that you receive the answer. So it's just the way you look at everything. If you look at things negatively, that's what you're going to get back. Negativity. But if you look at things with a positive, upbeat attitude, even the worst thing, even what seems like it's bad can turn out good. There is always some good in a bad situation. Something good always come out of a bad situation. Good morning, Sean. God said what they meant for evil, I'm going to turn that thing around for good. So I choose to believe what God said. I choose to believe what God said. And it's the way you wake up in the morning. It is the way that you wake up in the mornings determine how your day is. If you wake up in a foul mood, normally you'll be miserable all day. And if someone say good morning, you have morning, so snappy morning. It's good morning. It's good morning because it wasn't a given that you was going to wake up this morning. That was determined by God if you're going to wake up this morning. So today is a good day, regardless of what goes on after you get up in the morning. It's a choice. No, you have no control over what other people do. There, you don't have control over what other people say. But you do have control over how you accept what they're saying. You do have control over you. And if you make that choice to say, you know what, today is a brand new day. I'm not letting nobody upset me. I'm not letting nobody bring me down. The day Friday, excuse me, and I ain't got to be here tomorrow. So you think I'm going to work my 8 hours, I'm going to work my 12 hours, and I'm going to work how many hours I'm going to work today. And when it's done, eyes are out of here. Eyes are out of here. It's five. Is what is it? 7 o'clock Friday. I ain't got no ninja, and no ninja ain't got me. So, you go and do what it is that you let your hair down. And that's what Lizzo said, girl, let your hair down. That's what you do. Today is Friday. And going to work on Friday, it's a hop in my step, a skip in my step, and a smile on my face. Because I know when 3:30 come, 4 o'clock come, baby, I'm up out of here. I ain't got to see y'all no more till tomorrow. Till tomorrow. So you know what? This is the day that the Lord has made. And whatever is weighing you down, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Because if you have not figured it out yet, If you haven't come up to some kind of conclusion about it yet, if you have not summed it up yet, then you know what? You need to let it go for a moment. Give your mind a break. Stop overstimulating yourself with problems and issues and situations. Every morning you wake up, you should not have a headache. You should not, your heart should not, you shouldn't be tired when you wake up in the morning. Sometimes people wake up in the morning tired because they are struggling with something. And you shouldn't struggle with the problem or situation or issue or the circumstances of life. You shouldn't struggle with it. If it's something, and I always say, if it's something that you could do about it, do it. Do it. And if it's nothing that you can do about it, sit it aside. It's like picking your battles. When you are going into war, pick your battles. Pick what battle. You can't fight a whole war. You got to chip it off, chip it off. That's why they got the Army, Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines. Each one of those branches, four branches of the military, has um has a job. The Air Force have a job, the Marines, the Army, and the Navy. Each one of them have a job to do. They could be fighting the same war. They could be fighting the same war, but they go into battle differently. And every day you wake up, it's a struggle. Some mornings it feels like you're in war. You're in war, but pick your battles. You pick those battles that you know it ain't gonna take you long to demolish the enemy or to defeat the enemy. Today is Friday. So, last night I went to choir rehearsal, right? So I just joined the choir from a whim. I just said, okay, I'm gonna be in the choir. Next Sunday, I'm gonna be in the choir. I'm gonna sing in the choir next Sunday. So, we had this choir boot camp. And I signed up to join this choir. Wasn't singing in the choir. I just wanted to, just do something. So I did. And the young lady that was the instructor, she and I went to school. Well, it had to be years and years and years ago, right? So she was doing the boot camp, and it was nice. It was nice, singing and listening to the different speakers, each night that we had the training and stuff like that, and learning new songs and just being united, one sound, one song, one sound, and in with the people that came, it was no little I's and no big T's or anything like that. There was a place for everybody, and everybody was in their places. And it was no hard feelings. It was people there that can sing, they behind all, but they didn't get into their feelings if they was not chose to lead a song. And some of the songs that we were singing with their voices, some people knew what song was best for them, and some people knew, that okay, this is not a good song for me. I can't, do it like she can do it. And they would pass the song on to someone else, right? So after that, I said, I did that choir, and we didn't have enough people. We never have enough people in the choir. If we got 7 people in the choir, that's a good choir that day. That's a good choir that Sunday. If 7 people come to rehearse, 7 people was at choir rehearsal last night, and she thought that was just great. So you see where I'm coming from. So last night we were in choir rehearsal, and she needed want to know what's going on with the choir, why the choir can't seem to get together, why there is no stick to itness in the choir. So she was asking everybody questions, and well, what do you feel like is the problem, this, that, and others. Okay. So and I'm thinking that the pastor was going to be there, right? So because I just thought he was going to be there because I overheard the conversation. So she was asking all these questions, and people would say, well, I really don't see anything. And so, being a new member, choir rehearsal started at 7 o'clock. See, I'm accustomed to when something says 7 o'clock starts at 7 o'clock, it starts at 7 o'clock. Whether who is there, it don't matter because the meeting was 7 o'clock. Because when I told him this is not the first choir that I've been in. When I first joined the church, I joined the choir. Can y'all hold on a second? Good morning. I'm back, yeah. I'm sorry about that. I had to take that phone call. Uh, so back to what I was saying, right? I'm telling you, God is so good. He just dropped things down, and got another story to tell when I finish telling this story. So all the new ones. And so she called my name. She said, well, Miss Maritha, I know you haven't been here, a new member in the choir, but I know you sit out in the congregation and you've heard us sing. And what do you think? Okay, yesterday I went to choir rehearsal. And when a person says 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I am and especially if I'm catching a ride with someone and they say be ready at 4:30, I'm gonna be ready and downstairs waiting for you at 4:30. Now I can understand with the traffic and everything like that. But when 4:30 come, I like for you to be pulling up. I don't like waiting and I don't like to have people waiting on me. So choir rehearsal is at 7 o'clock. So I got an Uber to choir rehearsal yesterday. I had to spend money to go to choir rehearsal yesterday. Money that I didn't have and really don't have to be spending like that. But I did because I wanted to go to choir rehearsal and I made that commitment. And so when I get there maybe about 10 minutes to 7. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. 7 o'clock, everybody start pulling in. So I'm in every good evening, good evening. How you doing? And I'm looking at them like, and I'm the choir director. So you say choir rehearsal is 7 o'clock, and you just pulling in at 7. If choir rehearsal is at 7 o'clock, you need to be the first one there. So when it got round to me to asking me about what I see, I said there's a lack of commitment. I said, you decided that you wanted to join the choir. Nobody forced you to join the choir. So if you decided that that was a conscious decision that you made that you wanted to be a part of this choir. And I understand about you got children and you got jobs and you can't just leave your job. But when you plan for everything else, you should also make plans for choir rehearsal. You should always also make plans. You make plans for everything else, and you made this commitment on Thursday. You made this commitment for 7 o'clock on Thursday. Every Thursday, that is choir rehearsal. And I said, I just feel like it's a lack of commitment. And and I'm not good with that. When people are non-committal, they could just come in with they just easy and then choir rehearsal don't start about 7:30, 25 minutes to 8. No, if choir rehearsal, because when I first joined the church and the first choir that I was in, when they say choir rehearsal was at 7, you was already start praying and worshiping God before choir rehearsal began. And if you were like 5, if you give a 10-minute leeway, anything of us after 7 coming in after quarter after 7, you gotta sit down. You gotta sit down. You can't come in the choir saying you gotta sit down. So you got to be more committed. And then somebody gave a rebuttal. Well, we got some people can't be here at 7 and and so I say, yeah, let me just piggyback off of that. I say, well, you know what time choir rehearsal started, and you made the commitment to be a part. Nobody made you choose to be in the choir. Nobody made you be in the choir. You chose to be in the choir. So we can commit to other things. So why can't we commit to being on time and starting on time? Why can't we commit to that? I said, I know everybody in here have things to do. However, when it's time for the choir, for choir rehearsal, what's the problem? Because I used to joke with them about on Sundays. I would say, "Joy for praisers, joy for praisers," and then I look in the choir stand. It'd be like 3 sometime, and then somebody come to me, Miss Val, say, "Would you join the choir? Because we don't have but 2 members today." So okay, yeah. So you're not being committed. You're not being committed. I know things come up sometimes unexpected, and I understand that. But this is a commitment that you made. Nobody didn't force you to do that. So, then everybody else then my friend was acting like me yesterday at choir, acting like how I used to be. And they asked her, well, what say you? And she said, I plead the fifth. So I looked at her and I started laughing because I knew why she pleaded the fifth. I knew why she pleaded the fifth. So everybody else, it wasn't but several members there. So, everybody had their little turn. And so the choir director daughter said something, and to this day, right now, I couldn't even tell you what the child said because it wasn't, it didn't even go along with what we were talking about. Because I'm the youngest one here. Girl, please. And I could move. Okay. And what? So what that mean? About you being the youngest one here. And so she was just talking, talking, talking. And because me and my friend had already had a conversation about her pet peeves with the choir. And I had said something to her before I had joined the choir about what I was seeing while I was sitting out in the congregation, sitting out in the audience. I'm looking at her. And I told him yesterday, excuse me. I say, sometimes I feel like y'all performing. I say, sometimes it feel like a performance. It don't seem real. You don't seem real. And for me, I say, sometimes when you see me just sitting there and just staring, it's because you're performing. And for me, that is not ushering in the Holy Spirit, because you don't know how people feeling when they come to church. And I gave them an example. Easter, I came to church and I was burdened down because my car just died on me. I said, but I praised my way through that. And for someone who knew what my situation was, and for me to get up in that choir stand and give God the praise, the glory, and the honor, it did me all the good. So I know I'm projecting that to someone out there in the audience, because my worship is for real. Not, when you're performing, you're not supposed to be performing for who are you performing for? And so last night that made me realize, Marita, you got to be more honest and you got to be truthful. You got to be able to hear the truth and you got to be able to tell the truth. Constructive criticism, you can always learn something from constructive criticism because it's given the way that is given to you is just given to you in a way that give you something to think about and to correct the ways that the error of your ways to help you do something different and to do it different and to do it better than what you're doing. That's what constructive criticism is. But just criticizing a person, nothing good can come out of just criticizing a person because somebody's feelings is going to get hurt, somebody going to walk away from the choir, somebody just feelings going to get hurt, and then the choir ain't got that many members. And then if you just criticizing somebody just to criticize them to be nasty, rude, and petty. And so when I said that last night and we started rehearsing, right? So this one girl could not get the song right. And my thing with her is, girl, sung this song so many damn times. Why you got to rehearse it? Why you got to rehearse it? Why we got to stop and keep going? Stop and for you to go high. Stop for when you're too high. Go low. Then bring it in. Like, no, why we got to do that? And that's one of the reasons when I joined the choir the second time, I stopped coming. And she asked why I stopped coming. I said, it just wasn't a feel for me. So when I said in the beginning about being truthful, sometimes you just have to tell hard truth sometimes. And there's a way that you can tell a person, there's a way that you can tell a person a truth without them being offended. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So I made a conscious decision yesterday. I said, you know what? Early this morning, because I woke up, kind of thinking about it. And I said, from now on, I'm just going to speak my truth. But however, I'm going to speak my truth in a way that it will be accepted. And when someone is coming to correct me, I am going to receive it, because people know how to approach you. People know if they got something to say to you, they know they need to pray about it first and let God lead them and direct them and give them the right words to come to you before they say something to you. I'm that girl. I'm that girl that before you come to me, you better think about what you're gonna say and think about your posture when you're saying it, because I'm more I might be more um I might be more receptive. It's not what you say, it's the way that you say it. And let me do some good mornings. Good morning to the people that's in the bushes watching this morning. Thank you for being here. And I hope you hit that like and share button. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. What you waiting on? I told you I want to get my 1,700 people. Come on now. Come on, you be watching, hit that button, hit that like and share button. Good morning, Miss AKA. Good morning, Guta. Good morning, Sean. And good morning, Desiree. Good morning, ladies. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning. I'm in the bushes, headed to the dealership. A guy hit my truck and oh, what? I'm okay. I wasn't hurt. My poor Betsy. That's what I call my truck. But praise God from whom all blessings flow. That you could go and get that truck fixed. And you know what? When you said it, a truck, you got hit, it hit. I was joking with Verena Monday while we were sitting out in the parking lot, and she said at the end of the year she'll be done paying for her car, right? So then she said, and I told her, I said, before you get a new car, why don't you just wait a year before you go back into debt? Jordan is just going into college. Give yourself time. You going into school. And I said, when you graduate from the RN program, then celebrate by getting yourself a new car. I said, don't give me that car, what you got. Don't give me this car. It's a nice car. But I'm gonna tell you, the same bumper, she done had about 3-4 accidents in that same bumper, get hit and knocked off all the time. All the time. So she started laughing and she said, Mom, she said, for real. And so sometimes it's so good that you're able to just go ahead and do what you need to do. God is good. God is a good God. God is a good God. And as I was saying, right? So I just got a phone call this morning, yesterday. The little lady supposed to had took me, to the store to get my grocery and stuff like that. So she had called once while I was on live, and I, just told her I could, what you do, I'll call you later. So that was her yesterday. I called this lady twice, and then when I called her again, it went to voicemail. So okay, right then I said, okay, let me leave this lady alone for a minute because it was pissing me off. So I said, okay, I'm gonna leave her alone. So she just called and she said, Maritha, I'm still not feeling too well. Can I call you later? I said, look, let me tell you something. Um, I said, yeah. I said, but please, if you're not going to be feeling well and you don't think you could take me to the store, please let me know. Don't have me sitting here waiting, thinking that you're going to, you'll be able to take me to the store because I don't like waiting on people. And I'm trying to get an answer from you and you're avoiding me and stuff like that. I don't like that. And I told her, look, I understand that you're not feeling good. And I said, it did make me feel some type of way yesterday. And it made me feel as if I was bothering you. And I don't like to feel that way. I said, so just be honest and let me know what's really happening. And then I won't bother you. I won't bother you until you call me and say, okay, are you ready to go to the store? It's just that simple. So that's what made me this morning when I was reading my daily bread and when I was reading my devotionals this morning. And you just have to be honest and you have to be you have to tell the truth. You have to be honest with people. And mostly you just got to be honest with yourself. And then when something is going on with you and somebody's actually, well, girl, what's going on? You don't say nothing. You ain't got to let people know what's going on, but you can tell people, look, right now is not a good time. I got a situation and no, I'm not good. I'm just not good. Stop lying and talk about I'm all right when you know you're not all right. You don't even answer a person right when you're not right. Oh, I'm all right. No, look, I had to learn that. I learned that and it just came out. One of the deacons asked me, Sister Marie, you all right? And I just said, no, I'm not all right, but it'll be all right. But however, but it will be all right because see, but cancel out everything else that happened. However, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Once you start being truthful with yourself, then you can be truthful with other people. You could be truthful with BK. Thank you for being here. So glad to catch you while you live. I usually catch the replay. Thank you. Either way, I thank you for being here this morning. Thank you so much. It is an amazing. It is a blessing that I can get it fixed and won't miss a beat. Bills still getting paid. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When you know who when you know and have a relationship with God, when things come up, it don't bother you. It really don't bother you. And you got insurance, you know what you can do. It does not bother you. That's why, I've been without a car for what, maybe a month now. And it's like whenever I get hold to some money, I just put it in that jar, and then I just try to keep a little bit, in my savings. So if I want to go somewhere and I don't have a ride, I can't get a ride, I have enough to catch an Uber, back and forth. I have enough to catch an Uber. So I say, when you got a relationship with God, it's just so easy. It's just so easy. Not saying you won't have no problems. Won't say things won't come up to to detour you, to make you get in a funk. Not saying it won't, but when you have a relationship with God, those things don't bother you because okay, this is gonna be temporary. It's only gonna be for a minute. And however long that minute is, that's just how long that minute is. And it's the way you go through. what you're going through determines how you come out. If you the person that like to complain and wallow and twitch and groan about something, and every time you see somebody, you're telling somebody about what's going on, telling people about your problems and stuff like that. If you that type of person, you're gonna be in that for a little while. What they be saying, misery like company. When I see a miserable person coming, no ma'am, I do not invite that into my spirit. No, ma'am. I do not rock into that realm. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No ham, no spam, no cheese. Because sometimes, I fight so hard on a daily basis to just to maintain my peace. To maintain my peace, do you think I'm gonna allow somebody to come? And I used to be a garbage can for people. They just come and dump all this stuff up on me. And then I just take on people's problems, and I be worrying harder than they be worrying about their own problems and their own. I said, not no more, no more, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. Am I going to be doing that to myself anymore? And last night at choir rehearsal, things happen to make you check yourself. That'll make you check yourself. And then in the areas where you are not as sure or as strong as you think that you are, or think that you should be, God has a way of showing you what you need to work on. And so, me having to work on just being honest with people and telling them what it is when they ask me a question, just be honest with them about what, just give them an honest answer. And sometimes they accept it and sometimes they won't. And then, I'm never going to ask a person something that I already know about myself. I'm never going to ask a person something that I already know about myself. So last night when I had said that, and we start choir rehearsal, and I was saying that the girl couldn't get the song right. So you know what? I wasn't gossiping. Don't judge, just listen. Don't judge, just listen. So I got on the phone last night, y'all, when I had got home, because I knew something was wrong with my friend. And so while we was in the choir stand and the girl couldn't sing the song, so me and my friend, we sit next to each other, right? So I couldn't look at her because if she was looking straight ahead, and I knew she was looking at me, kind of giving me the side eye and wouldn't look at me because she knew and I knew what was going on, right? So she couldn't get the song right. She couldn't get the song right. So when I got home, y'all, when I had got home last night, she said, "What, Diva? I know you was gonna call what?" And we started laughing. Cause we knew we were talking with our eyes and stuff like that. And she was trying to avoid looking at my eyes. Cause if she had looked at me, she know both of us were gonna start laughing, right? So the other lady who was sitting on the side of me, she looked at me and I looked at her. She was like, well, "What's going on?" I said, "Mm-mm. Just can't get right. Can't get the song right." And I said, "This girl done sung this song so many damn times, and she can't get this song right tonight." So when me and my friend were talking on the phone, my friend said, "You know why she couldn't get it right? You always calling people out on something." I said, they was she just asked, and I'm telling her what I see. I see performance. I don't see realness. And I had told him, I said, when I first joined the choir and um at that first church, and the pastor at that church at that time, he was at choir rehearsal that night. And he said, "I come to choir rehearsal just to see how y'all perform at the choir rehearsal." He said, the way the Holy Spirit be manifesting and you be crying and singing and shouting on Sunday. He said that same spirit should be here on choir when you're rehearsing in the choir. And that always stuck with me. It always stuck with me. And when we were rehearsing a song one Thursday, the Holy Spirit was just in the church. It was just in the church. It was in the meeting. It was in the rehearsal. The Holy Spirit manifests itself. And so then when that Sunday came, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The spirit was hot and heavy in that church that Sunday. It was hot and heavy. And I'm saying to them, the way when I say I see a performance, because the Holy Spirit on Sunday, and I said, I don't know how y'all used to rehearse before I came. I said, but what I see is a performance. See, the Holy Spirit should manifest in the rehearsal. When you're rehearsing these songs, there should be some sign of the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit just don't show up on Sunday. And I said, well, since I've joined the choir, I've seen the difference. And I said, I'm not saying it because I joined the church, joined the choir. It's just I've seen it, manifest, and I know it don't have to wait to Sunday. So if the Holy Spirit just manifesting on Sunday, that means you not really doing, you just singing to perform. You just there to put on a show. You just there to put on a show. It's a blessing that I could get it fixed. Good to me too, cause the last accident I had, 5 bike surgeries and wow, that was bad. Thank God for grace and mercy. Thank God. Good. Thank you for being here this morning, girlfriend. I am her. I am her in the building this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then what I'm talking about is just being truthful and being honest with yourself. And you know what? When you are truthful, when you're honest with yourself, you're apt to be more honest and truthful with people. You're going to be honest and truthful with people, because then I'd rather for a person to tell me how you feel, tell me what you're feeling. Because see, I don't want no, I don't like, I'm not a fake phony person, and I don't like fake phoniness around me, because then I got to call you out. I got to call you out on being fake and phony. I have to call you out on that. And then, when I was decorating that Saturday morning, when I came here early decorating for that tea party, I overheard some conversations, and I saw people when they saw me, and I was dressed in my shorts and my cap and my t-shirt and my sneakers. Oh, you going home to change? No. Oh, you going to stay? No. Why would I stay looking like this and y'all looking like that? No, I'm not. And then one lady said, oh, you did a very good job. This is really nice. I said, it did turn out real nice, didn't it? She said, you know what? You have a little bit of arrogance in you. I said, oh, just a little? That's what you see. I said, oh, just a little. See, that's what I'm talking about. That I'm not going to shrink myself for somebody else. I'm not going to do that. I know who I am. And if my confidence bothers your insecurities, that's not on me. That's on you. That's on you. Get you some. Get you some. And I never seen myself, I am. I always like to be aware of what I'm saying and how I'm saying it and who I am saying it to, because no, I'm not everybody cup of tea, and no, everybody don't understand my I have a dry sense of humor. I have a dry sense of humor. And you can't say what you want to say to me and think it's gonna ride. It all depends on the day. If I feel like it, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. And the days that I'm gonna let you and I'm gonna let you know, I'm gonna let you have that one today. You got that one. You got that one today. But you know what? Don't try it tomorrow. Don't push it. And the day ain't looking too good for you either, baby. I'm gonna let you have that one right now. You can have that one right now. But don't try to take it too far now. Don't try to take it too far. Really don't bike in. Really don't bike in. And then they want to say, oh, you so crazy. You want to think I'm so crazy, but I'm not so crazy as you think I am. And so being truthful with yourself, you could be truthful with others. And then when you going to tell somebody something, it's just like I said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's how you say it, You just, and then you know what, because you matter. You matter. Your feelings matter. People think they can say whatever the hell they want to say to you, and it's okay. But then the moment you open up your mouth to say something back to them, then they want to cry victim. They want to go into that victim mentality. Like you just hurt their feelings. Like you just bust they bubble like you done shattered their world. But they could say anything to you. They could bust your bubble. They could shatter your world. They can hurt you like it's nothing. So you have to nip it in the bud. Nip it, nip it, nip it, nip it in the bud. And if you been like that, stop being like that because you are important. And if you don't love you, who in the hell gonna love you? Oh yeah, you people say, "Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you." But if you don't love yourself, nobody can love you like you can love you. And loving you is meaning having a strong constitution about yourself. Loving you means taking care not only of your physical, but of your mental as well. Dealing with people will weigh on you mentally. And it'll have you second guessing yourself. It'll have you walk around time. I don't know. Well, I guess. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. I ain't letting nobody have me like that. I'm not having, and when you done gone through it as many times as I have been through it, then you come to that conclusion. No, baby, this is over. Playtime is over. Play with your mama. Don't play with me. Play with your mama. Don't play with me. And I'm just like that girl on TikTok who said, "I'ma say it because I can't get no whooping. I'm gonna be as gentle as I possibly. Sometimes I'm gonna be more gentle to you than they have been to me." I'm going to be more gentle than they have been to me. And my pastor was talking about this Wednesday night about that old nature, that old nature is still there. She's still there every now and then. And when I said I'm in a war with myself, that old nature be trying to come out. That old nature be trying to come out. And the new creature that I am, be trying to fight and be talking about, girl, we ain't got to do this. You ain't got to do this. And that old nature said, oh no, baby. You might want to move around because you just letting them walk all over you, but that ain't me. That ain't how this gonna be. And self be talking, self be saying, come on now. And I be saying, and I be saying, come on now, self be saying, you better do something. Because if I come out, it ain't gonna be nothing pretty. It ain't gonna be nothing pretty. So that's the war that I be going through sometimes because I really be wanting to take it there sometimes. But then I be saying, you know what? Is it worth it? Is it worth the peace that I have already established? Do I want to be tongue wrestling with somebody? Because I have never been able to just stand there and go backwards and forward like arguing and stuff. I ain't never been able to do that. I never was able to do that. I never had the patience to do that. I either walk away, may the best man win because I'm finna hit you. I'm finna hit you. And we gonna do what we gonna do. Yes, I done got beat many times. I done got beat. But a lot of times I ain't. So I just said, I'm gonna be truthful to myself. I'm gonna be honest with me. I'm gonna be honest with me. And then people don't like it. People don't like it when you can walk alone, when you can stand alone, when your yes is yes and your no is no with no explanation. Because when I say no, it's just no, period. It ain't no exclamation mark. It ain't no comma because I ain't finna say nothing else after that. It ain't no question mark. Okay. It's just no. And then I hear adults my age, 30, 40, 50 years old, 60, 70, 80 years old. I just don't like to say no. I just don't know how to say no. You don't? Well, I hold a master class on how to say no. No, 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 nada. Uh-uh. It ain't happening. However you want to say no, baby, I can teach you how to say no. I can teach you how to say no. I was working at City Trend in Tampa one time. So this little young girl, she was just graduated high school, getting ready to go to college, right? So the manager, and I did not associate the little girl until her grandma had came in the store. So her grandma is a lesbian, right? I'm telling you, fine as hell. And the little girl, what her name was, and then the lady had came in the store, and I said, I said, I know somebody with that last name. She said, yeah, that's my granddaughter. She work here. And I didn't know that the store manager was liking this lady, right? So I didn't really like the store manager like that. So I started flirting with the lady, right? And so the lady told me, baby, you ain't ready for this. I said, you ain't ready for this, okay? So me and the lady, we didn't never do nothing. Let me get that straight right now. We ain't never do nothing because no, she was right. I wasn't ready for that, and that's not, I'm strictly dickly, and I love myself a man. I love myself a milk chocolate man. But anyway, the lady, the manager had said, Miss Marita, no, she asked the little girl. She said, "See, can you work tonight for me?" And then she said, we were talking, and she said, every time I come, she always asking me to stay late. I don't like to be staying late. I said, you don't, why, well, why do you stay? She said, I just don't be wanting to say no. I said, you don't want to say no because you want the money, you need the money. Why? No, I just don't know how to say no. I said, baby, let me show you something. I'm going to tell you something. I said, the next time somebody ask you something that you don't want to do, just say no. All you have to do, just say no. Watch this right here. She come up to us while she's talking. She said, Miss Marita, would you close for me tonight? I said no. And she looked at me. I say, see, I say, see, that's how you say no. So then we start laughing. So she asked the little girl, she said, would you close? She said, no, ma'am. I said, see how easy that was. You see, you want me to close, but you didn't put me on the schedule to close. You could have put me on the schedule to work from 9 to 9 and said, Marita, you could have 2 lunch breaks. It could have been just that simple. But no, you didn't want to do that. And then you don't want to hire no extra people. You're not going to work me like no Hebrew slave. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No ham, no spam, no cheese. And I told her, I say, see how easy that was? And she can't get mad at you because you don't want to work at night. I said, she get mad, go tell your grandma because she like your grandma. And we start laughing. So yeah, you just be honest with yourself. Stop. If you're not, just try it. Just try it. And sometimes we think we are being honest with ourselves. But if sometimes you just sit down and just reflect on some things, just go back and just look at some things and reassess the situation, you'll see in many instances you have not been honest with yourself. And not being honest with yourself, you can't really truly and honestly be honest with somebody else. Don't deny what you're feeling. If you don't feel like being bothered, then you let somebody look, I'm not there today. You ain't got to explain to somebody, but just let them know, look, today is not that day. However you explain it, I'm not in the mood for that today. Just let people know how you feel, and then they will respect that. But then it was you just go along to because you don't want to hurt somebody else feeling. People don't mind hurting yours. People don't mind hurting your feelings. None whatsoever do people mind hurting your feelings. So if you don't feel like you don't mind hurting me, would I look like trying to not? I don't like hurting people feelings on purpose. I don't purposely go out to try to hurt someone or to offend someone or to make someone feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I have something on my affirmation board. It said every time you're given a chance between disappointing someone else and disappointing yourself, your job throughout your entire life is to disappoint as many people as it takes to avoid disappointing yourself. In some instances, I will put other people before me. However, if it's something that's going to hurt me, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I am not going to stifle my feelings. I'm not going to down myself to uplift someone else. I'm never going to do that to myself. I am never going to do that. And if you have been doing it and not even realizing that's what you're doing, you better stop. You better stop. And loving on yourself, that don't mean going out buying stuff for your. That's just a part of it. Loving yourself is making sure you're mentally okay and that you're somewhat physically okay. You're good. I'm good mentally. You have to exercise your mental. And one thing I can appreciate about my daughter is like when my granddaughter would say, "Well, I don't feel like going to school today," or she'll just say, "Ma, I think I need to take tomorrow off." And she allowed Jordan to take days off from school because her mental mattered as well. Because you going to school, don't know what kind of pressure, what kind of peer pressure these children is under in school. Ain't like school was when I was going to school, when y'all was going to school. School wasn't like that. Children taking guns to school, they taking drugs to school. They getting raped in school. All kind of stuff going on in school, just messing with their mental psyche. And then you got honor classes. Then you want to be in all this extracurriculum activity. You got so much going on. Then when you come home, you got about a 30-minute hour worth of homework you gotta do. And then you fall under bed by 10, about 9, 10 o'clock. You gotta go now, you in bed. Then you gotta wake right back up by 5:30. So you be ready to go by 5:30, 6 o'clock. So you 5:30 with her. So you could be ready to be in school 10 minutes to 7. So yeah, she needed a mental day. And I said, look, I ain't mad at you because I understand. Because if I didn't feel like going to work, I ain't going to work. And I ain't calling to tell no damn lie on my mama. My mama's sick. I ain't never lied on my mama, not my children when I did not feel like going to work. Look, I ain't coming in today. Why? Because I don't feel like coming in to work. That's why I ain't coming in today. And for you, it's best for you that I don't come in today, because if I come in today, I'm just gonna have a nasty attitude and everybody gonna get it. And everybody can get it. And I explained that to my manager. And she said, Marita, I never thought about it that way. I said, when I'm happy, everybody else gonna be happy too. Because when you need a mental break, you need a mental break. And as women, we need to start doing that. We need a mental break from our children, our grandchildren, our husband, our significant other, our family. And what a mental break look like to you is what it looked like to you. That for me, a mental break means, you know what, the phone, put the phone on silence, can't hear it when it rains, turning the lights down low, having me get me a glass of wine, get me a bottle of Tito vodka and some strawberry lemonade, and just sit to my window or sit outside on the balcony, watch the sun go down, and just meditate on nothing at all. Just meditate on nothing at all. Clear my mind. And have your mind ever just been clear of worration? And just thinking about, as people say, what you thinking about? Nothing. You can't be. How you not thinking? I'm not thinking about not a damn thing, not nothing. Because when my mental is right, I'm all right. And that's why you need to have a mental check every now and then. You have to have a mental check. You have to explain to your husband, explain to your children, look, I just need this time. When Jordan was when Jordan was 4 years old, she understood. If I was back there in my room, just laying, reading a book or listening to music. And normally she would be in the living room watching SpongeBob, watching iCarly or Victorious, whatever her name was. And she'll come and she said, Nana, what you doing? I said, just having me some me time. And still to this day, she said, Nana, you're having me time? I said, yes, I'm having me time. She said, today is me day? I said, today is me day. She said, okay, then. I can talk to you later. I said, yes, just give me some more me time. Then she said, okay, you have to let people know that, so they can respect your time. You need that time. You work from Monday to Friday sometime. If you got that job where you off on the weekend or off every other weekend, you need that time. The lady that drive me to work, she said, Maritha, I work. She said, my last day working is on a Thursday. She said, I'm out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. She said, I try to do everything I need to do on Friday so I can have my Saturdays free. And she said, I be in church on Sunday. And I said, mom, that's how my mama was. And my mama was the one that showed me that you got to take some time for yourself. Because when my mom, she had a place at the flea market. She sold African clothes and African artifacts and stuff like that. And Saturday and Sunday we would be at the flea market. On Monday, my mama didn't do well. I said my mama didn't do nothing. My mama didn't do nothing. And then when she started working at Walmart, my mama worked from Monday to Thursday, and she was out Friday to Saturday, and then go back to work to Sunday night. And her time off was her time off. Don't call me about coming in. Would you come? No, you have to get you have to get an understanding. You have to get people to understand. My time is just that. What the lady said. What Auntie Maxine said. Reclaiming my time, and that's what I do. I don't reclaim it. I claim my time. When Maritha, you think no, I don't think I could do nothing. No, no, ma'am. If I don't feel like doing it, I don't do it. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. And my daughter had to bring that to my attention. Verena had to bring that to my attention because anytime anybody asks me to do anything, I'm doing it. If they said, Maritza, you want to go, you'll go here with me, you do this, you do that. Oh, I do it. I do it. And then when it got time to do it, I'd be complaining and moaning and bitching about it. And then my daughter said, you know what, mama, you're going to get enough of that. I said, enough of what? And I used to get mad when she said, too. Sometimes, every time people ask you to do something, you always do it. And then when it's time to do it, you act like you be getting mad. If you don't want to do it, don't say you're going to do it. You're going to get enough of that. Just don't do it then. And then I said, you know what? And one day I stopped getting mad. One day I stopped getting angry at her because she was telling me the truth. So when people say, I don't want to do that. Why? Because I don't want to do it. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me no why. When I tell you no, don't ask me why. I don't need no. I don't have to give you no explanation. It's just no. It's just no. Stop being a doormat. Stop being, my daughter talking about, Mom, you is not save a hoe. You're not Captain Save a hoe. You try to save everybody. You can't do that. Stop doing that. Leave people alone. And I said, you know what? You're right. I am going to stop doing that because, people will use you and use you. And when they done used you all up and put all their problems on you, and you more worried about their problems than they are worried about them, you be having headaches, and then your skin start looking bad. Don't have that glow. You don't be looking good because you worried about somebody else business. And they ain't worried about, and every time they got a problem, there's nothing wrong with people coming to you. And when people come to me, it don't bother me because I like helping people. I really do like helping people. I like helping people. But when it get to be too much for me, I know what my limit is. I know when my limit is. And so when I tell people on Monday is my do absolutely nothing day. That means I don't take my pajamas off. I don't open the windows. I don't open the blinds. And everybody who know me on Monday is my do nothing day because I let it be known. I do absolutely nothing. I answer the phone and I have a conversation, and then they say, "Oh, girl, today y'all do nothing today. Day Monday, right?" I said, "Yeah," and you know it, that you do have to set boundaries. You do, because if you don't, people be in your lane all the time. They will be in your lane all the time. Now that's my drink, Tito's with strawberry lemonade, and and this morning, I am just so extremely, God has been blessing me, y'all, and God just been blessing me, and in little simple ways, and it's not scary. It is so amazing. It is just so amazing to see how God, is blessing me. God is blessing me in my mind that I, not saying I don't have some issues. I do. But am I worried about it? No, I am not worried about it. And not only am I trusting in myself anymore, more, I'm trusting in God more. Sometimes I fall short of the glory of God. Sometimes I make mistakes and I choose to make them mistakes. Sometimes I choose to be disobedient. Even in his chastisement, though, God still bless me. Even in the midst of God still been blessing me. Every morning, God wake me up. That's a blessing right there. That's another chance not to do what I did yesterday, but to do better than I did yesterday. And I look forward. Tomorrow. Tomorrow ain't here yet, but tomorrow is Jordan last night in the performance of Hairspray. So we're going tonight as a family, as a all her mom friends, people from the church, they've been there. And so Jordan knows she have the support. So we go by what she says. She say don't come tonight, we don't come tonight. Opening night, she didn't want nobody to be there opening night. She wanted us to be there on her last performance. But we still know how she did because everybody said, oh, she did a beautiful job. She's so pretty. She looked so pretty up there. So, and I know with her, she's going to give it her all. She's going to give it her all. So, and I'm so proud of her because whatever she do, she give it her best. When she was a little girl, she used to fall a lot, but her words, and still to this day, I'm okay. I'm okay. Those are her first words. I'm okay. And while she's saying she's okay, she's getting up, dusting herself off, and trying it again. And that's what life is all about. Sometimes you get it, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just like riding a bicycle without the training wheels. You fall down, you scrape your knees, you cry, you get back up and get right back on that bicycle. You don't let that bicycle master you. You master that bicycle. And the next thing you know, you ride without the training wheels. You ride without your daddy holding the back of the, trying to hold your own for safety. You say, I'm okay. I'm okay. I got it. I got it. And that's what life feels when life starts lifing and life starts giving you lemons. Do something with that lemonade. Put some sugar and some water and make lemonade. Make a lemon meringue pie. Make a lemon pound cake. Do something with them lemons. Don't just let them sit there and be sour. Squeeze the juice out of them and make something sweet. Because that's what life could be, as sweet as you want it to be. Life is sweet, even on the not so good days, even on the bad day, something good will come out of a bad day. Because you know what's good gonna come out of a bad day? You're gonna make it through that day. And when you make it through that day, you're gonna look back and say, you know what, I made it. I made it. You made it from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Look, today is Friday. You made it. You made it. Trust more in yourself. Believe more in yourself. Love you like nobody else could ever love you. And the things that you want for yourself, don't wait for somebody else to give them to you. You can do it yourself. You can do it just the love that you're looking for is deep down inside of you. You know what? We have to train people and teach people how to love us. And training and teaching people how to love you, people watch you. Trust me, people watch you. They watch your attitude. They watch what you say. They watch your behavior. They watch your demeanor. They watch how you dress. They watch you. They watch you when you're happy. They watch you when you're sad. When you're going through something, people are watching. And you don't have to put on no performance for nobody. All you got to do is continue to be who you are. And then, and being who you are, that's what people are going to love you for, because who you are. Even when you're going through something, you don't have to look like what you're going through. Have you ever heard people say, I don't look like what I've been through? And when you're going through something, you still wake up in the morning and brush your teeth and wash your face and put on your red lip bar lipstick, or your Ruby Woo, or your red Dior, or your red anybody. Put on your lipstick. Put on some perfume. Get dressed. And sometimes you'll have absolutely nowhere to go to but Publix or Walmart or Target or Macy's or Dillard's or wherever it is that you go. Get up. Because when you get up and you dress up, the world is your oyster. Baby, you can look however you want to, and you can feel however you want to. Don't deny what you're feeling. Feel it. And then get over it. Don't wallow in it. Don't dwell in it. Don't let somebody have control over your emotions. You be in control of you. And when you see yourself getting angry, you better talk to yourself like myself be talking to me. Self be saying, hey, I be saying, huh? I say self. Self say, huh? I said, well, what you think? Self say, now, girl, this is not what's going. This is not what's going. Be truthful to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Treat yourself right. Take that time out for you. Get your mental straight. Get that physical straight. Get your physical and your mental together. And you're going to be awesome. And if nobody has told you this week that you are an awesome individual, I'm the one to tell you. And that when you talk about, well, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I think so. Stop thinking and know. Stop thinking and start knowing. Take I don't know out of your vocabulary. Take I can't out of your vocabulary. I'm not equipped to do it right now. However, it's always should be however. However, and. If you're gonna say but, put an and onto that. However, but, but, he said, but cancel out everything you done said. However, I'm gonna be all right. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. That's my word for the day. This is the Memorial Day weekend. And just keep in mind what Memorial Day is all about. Be safe, have fun, hang out with family, hang out with friends. And if you need that alone time, don't be afraid to hang out with yourself. So I'm going to say peace out, deuces, and I love you. And ain't nothing you can do about it. I'll holler and then you holler back. I'm out. Bye.